Alright, what's going on, guys? Believe it or not, we actually have a lot of Elden Ring stuff to talk about today. But really quickly before I start the video, if you enjoyed the background track for the first half of this video, please go show some love to my friend Oneiromantic who made this for me. He makes some really awesome stuff, but as I said before, I want this channel to be more interactive for you guys, and I want you to feel like you have a hand in making these videos. So if you have a talent you'd like to contribute to the channel, join the Discord link down below and send me a message, and I can promise that I'll get back with you. But now, let's talk about Elden Ring. Amidst this long drought of news, we've been getting drip-fed little tiny bits of lore alongside the fan art, but what I want to focus on today are the many screenshots we've gotten over the past month, because now that Bandai's chosen to release a press package to the public, we now have these screenshots in maximum resolution, and with this we can uncover lots of tiny details that are actually really cool, and may hold some deep implications about gameplay and more than just appearance. So I want to start with the new screenshot we got yesterday, and this one gave us a lot of new details. And I want to start with these guys. These two players we can see here are actually phantoms and not invaders. They've chosen to give the phantoms in Elden Ring a reddish glow for whatever reason. Now the common consensus about this choice is to differentiate it from the spirit summons, which we know have that pale and ethereal look to them. But what's far more interesting is the armor that they're wearing. Both of these phantoms seem to be wearing a sort of heavy armor, and that was something we talked about in the past. We weren't actually sure if this game was going to have any sort of heavy armor, because all the armor we've seen thus far has been relatively light, and with jumping being a new prominent gameplay feature, very heavy armor doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But now let's move to the background. The castle that's featured in the middle we've seen plenty of times, but it's worth noting that it looks much larger from this angle, and that little entrance on the right there really puts everything else into perspective of just how huge this game is going to be. Now this does appear to be the same castle that we see in the trailer, with that blue aurora floating around it, although we've seen several castles throughout the other screenshots that look very similar, although the architecture and color scheme of this one do match. We can clearly see in this screenshot that blue aurora is gone, so it seems like that's going to be some kind of gameplay trigger that makes that happen. But now I want to move on to the biggest question that we have about this screenshot, and that is, why are these two giant trees glowing like the Erd tree? Now we've seen these two trees before, although in the past they haven't been glowing like this. Notably in this screenshot here, we can see that they're both missing that golden iridescence, but then in this screenshot we got a few weeks ago, we can actually see the trees in this one glowing off in the background behind the dragon. Now one of you guys shot me a theory as to why this might be, and I thought it was really interesting, and the theory is that perhaps each time we kill a lord and regain a shard of the Elden Ring, we might be restoring the golden order to the world and bringing the grace back to these miniature Erd trees, and I really like that idea. But there are a few minor details I want to point out in this screenshot. Off in the top right we can see a castle built into the side of this mountain, and it seems to be that same jagged volcano looking area where we fight that dragon beneath the red sky. So perhaps the inhabitants that live here are some sort of cave dwelling people, and that might mean another lava area for us, but we'll see. We also have a new structure we can see off in the left over there, but it appears to be quite dilapidated, so I doubt it'll be too important, but it looks like a great place to hide an NPC. But now I want to move on to new details and older screenshots that have only recently been discovered. A few days ago I was streaming with you guys and we were taking a look at these screenshots, notably this one here, and we found something pretty cool about it. If you take a look at the room that this is all happening in, it's the same exact room and set of catacombs in which we fight this creature here. And it's not just an off chance that they look similar, this is the exact same room. So that communicates a few things to me. This area is definitely going to be worth revisiting, and it makes me think that the character we see here is the player, since we can see those little goblins on the floor are aggroed on them, and we can see a white glow coming from the stage behind them, and I really want to know what that is. But that's about all I got for this one. In this screenshot here we can see that these little enemies seem to have a monkey-like face. Off to the right in the bush we can see these berries that seem to be harvestable, and then on the enemy most prominently featured in the middle we can see these Celtic leg tattoos, although I haven't been able to match them with anything else in the trailer. There's two cool things to note in this screenshot. The first is a path that seems to be winding up to the top of this mountain that looks like it could be leading to that castle that we mentioned earlier, although it doesn't look exactly the same. But more notably we can see one of those tree giants chained up by his feet in a bloodborne fashion. So I would assume that this path leads to the main base of whoever these guys belong to that are leading the caravans, since they're torturing the giants and also flying the same banner. Now that's about all I've got for those screenshots. We did learn a lot of new details just based off the one we got yesterday, and I really hope that means there's new screenshots coming every Friday, but you know, they never really follow a pattern with this kind of thing. But in other news, it has been confirmed that Elden Ring will not be at New York Comic Con. Believe me, I had my clown makeup ready, but Bandai Namco did release a list of all the games they're going to be showing there, and it makes absolutely no sense because half of the games are already out. And I know I keep trying to apply logic to predicting Elden Ring's marketing, but man, at this point I really have no idea what they're planning. Tokyo Game Show is going on right now, and a lot of people expected it to be there, but once again, FromSoftware did not list themselves on that. However, Bandai Namco did, but to alleviate some of the confusion, at the Japanese shows, FromSoftware always lists themselves independently of Bandai. This whole thing is just so strange to me though. And this sort of drought on the Elden Ring news has a lot of people really concerned about a possible delay coming. Do I think the game is going to be delayed? Not really. They've stated multiple times that they're very confident in the release date, and as of right now, we really don't have any evidence to suggest that the release date is not going to be met. I think all that's going on here is they're just struggling to find their way to navigate through the big holiday push of marketing of all the other games going on right now. They've got some really big competition to deal with right now that are all experiencing very big marketing campaigns, such as Metroid Dread, Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Halo Infinite all releasing before Elden Ring. So I think a big factor of this might be them not wanting to get drowned out by all those voices. However, I think they just chose a really awkward release date, because if they do wait for all those other games to come out, they're only going to have less than a month to market this game to the non-fans. And by that point, those people are already going to have spent their money on other games. So to me personally, their typical March release date would make a lot more sense, but I don't think that means a delay is coming. Now, if we go another month without seeing any kind of marketing campaign to the non-fans, then I could really see this game getting delayed. But as of right now, I don't think we have to worry too much. But anyways guys, that's going to pretty much do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like on it if you did, and be sure to subscribe if you're not already. I do my best to keep you guys up to date with all the latest Elden Ring news, and hopefully it's not going to be too long before we get something major. But until that day comes, I'll catch you in the next one.